You guys are gonna get us cancelled.
You want a lawsuit? Hey.
So one of the game one. Hey yo guys, welcome back to another episode of the Come Up Uncut, man. I'm chilling with Sihle and Tabo. Yep, another Tabo. We're chilling in Rivonia today and we're shooting episode 12. We're calling this one the Gentleman's Corner. I really hope that the men will enjoy this one because this one is for you, gents. And probably the ladies will have something to learn as well, man. Enjoy this episode. Yo, gents, welcome. Sihle, welcome back.
Are we?
By the way, decided to make Sihle an official co-host of the Come Up because it's been nice having you around, man.
Thanks. I wanted to say pop. That's a pop moment,
It is.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, man. Yeah, happy to be here. Looking forward to this episode. You guys are gonna enjoy it. Yeah, we've got Tabo in studio with us.
Tabo, welcome.
You guys sound so formal, man. Is this how I always introduce people?
It is. So that the young people can get bored and then we can speak about adult stuff.
Look, no, thank you guys for having me. Eh? Thank
No,
you guys for having me. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we do this well.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's how crazy was episode 11, man?
Yo.
I actually have a bone to pick with Romeo, right?
About episode.
Episode 11.
Oh, there's a part where he was supposed to be on camera.
Yes.
And I didn't see that part.
Yes, that's the part.
What
that I wanna
happened,
pick up on.
Romeo?
So we all shot, and he put everyone in
Except himself.
except himself. He's been saying that since last year, by the way.
So as you were introducing Utabo, I'm thinking how guest speakers in church, how they get introduced, they always go and he's always sitting like this. And then they go with the wife. They're like, he's a husband to one wife, a father to 4 kids, an interdenominational speaker. We should have introduced him like
He
that.
should have given us his Wikipedia page.
And then they stand up with the wife.
And then when he gets to the pulpit, he still says, "Awu ngiyanibingelela bazalwane, angihambi ngedwa ngihamba nomngami, sukuma mngami bakubone."
That's a favorite line.
Hey Joe,
That is important, Mshani.
Ne.
That is important.
Otto was married, by the way.
Listen, let me tell you why that is important. Especially when you have a hot wife. Nah. People must not judge you. Because remember, rona ra judgeana, ra. Ke sure ke moruti engwe fela vanli. Ntwana. When you say mngami sukuma bakubone. Yeah, that's where your power is, Mchana.
Your wife.
Your wife.
Yes.
And make sure, and they always make sure when they go to visit churches, the wives are on point.
Yes.
From hair, Mchana, everything. When the wife stands up, Mchana, Luena, when you're in that church, you must question yourself. Yeah.
So before I start episode 12, right?
Yeah.
Episode 11, dude, I was so wasted. You remember I got Stone's number?
Oh yes, I
Got
remember.
Stone's
Yeah. When are we having him on the podcast, Vele?
I'm pushing for July.
Oh, all right,
August.
awesome.
So I didn't know that I have Stone's number until the next day. I was speaking to Romeo about the episode and stuff. So Romeo and Stone are just, on my phone book. So I see Stone. I look at the profile picture.
Like it's him.
I'm like, no man, this is him. I look at the chat. I said to him, "Hey Stone, it's me."
As if he's supposed to know who you are.
And then
Like
no,
it's me.
He said, "Sure, I'm fine." But then I remembered what happened. Dude. I was so drunk. So this is how I met Stone. Eh?
Yeah.
We're taking pictures after the event. Was it after?
Yeah, it was after the event, right by that corner whereby there was branding.
After we shot.
Yes.
After we shot, Romeo left. We went back inside.
Yeah.
We took pictures with them, right?
Yeah.
So I'm standing next to Stone. Ne? I don't realize who's standing next to me, dude. We're taking pictures with everyone. But then something says, no, man. This is Stone. This is Bongo Mafi. This is Touchy Scoop here.
Yeah.
And I'm drunk at the time. And I'm like, hey, Stone, can I please have your numbers?
I was there. I remember.
You remember that?
I remember.
just like that.
Yeah, he's such a chill gent, eh?
He
He's
says-
such a cool
he said-
guy.
He said, you guys were the ones that were shooting there. I'm like, yeah. He's like, no, you guys are doing a fantastic job. Give me your number, right? I take his number. I text him same time. Now, I ask him, is this your number or your manager's number?
Straight up, he's like, that's my
He's like,
personal
"That's
number.
my personal number.
Yeah.
And then he says, fuck managers, right?
Yeah.
Now, here's the crazy thing. I'm like, no, I work in corporate. I'm not going to say fuck managers. I have a manager, bro. HR is going to be on my ass on Monday.
What's gonna HR is gonna be what?
Put your time as in HR.
Yeah, you must be careful. Mind your words. Mind your words. We're with HR here.
Hey, Chet.
So no. There's something that you skipped.
Yeah.
Stone said we're doing a great job, guys. That's a huge compliment. You better give us some flowers, okay?
Yeah.
Give us some flowers.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, no, that's,
Yeah. Po, 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 po.
that's massive, man. That's massive, and
it's
a
huge.
lot of people. Also, shout out to Romeo, man. The editing on like all our episodes, Romeo.
Yeah, Romeo's a beast, eh?
After I sent the link to the first draft in the group, Azola called.
They were
me.
impressed with the
Azola-
first draft.
Azola said, "Fuck, the editing in this thing is crazy."
And that was not even the final product.
that was
remember?
the first draft, and I said, "I really cannot take credit for this, man."
Romeo's
Romeo's
work is amazing.
That's all Romeo.
Guys, you've seen his
that was
work.
amazing,
It's absolutely
man. Romeo,
amazing.
shout out.
Go to episode 12. He went all out. Eh?
He really
yeah,
went-
episode 12 was not
11
episode 11.
Episode 11, he
yeah,
really
yeah.
went out, man. Like, Azola literally called me and said, you guys are sitting on top of gold. Your editing, your sound, everything was proper. And I said, I really cannot take credit for that one.
Yeah.
That was Romeo. So shout out Romeo, man. Like, that was, you really killed that
Woo,
one, bro.
woo.
Anyway, man, without any further ado, so gents have been complaining, saying we've been doing the content focused on a bit of ladies. We don't talk about many issues enough. We touched on it episode 9 or 10.
Episode
Remember with
10.
Kamaku and
That was
Pini.
episode 10. I
Kamaku
think,
and
yes,
Pini.
yes.
Yeah. So
Our
this-
ghost lady.
Our ghost lady. So I
Yes.
decided to call this one Gentleman's Corner. And my woman said, are men in a pandemic? We're speaking about it earlier today. And
Are men in a
She
pandemic?
literally asked me,
Ooh, that's deep.
do I think
Yo.
are men in South Africa in a pandemic, right?
Yo, that's deep.
And I said, why? And she said, girlfriend allowances, side chicks, main chicks, all these things that men feel like.
Life in a stay-at-home girlfriend.
Yes, all these things that men have to work towards. Is that beginning to weigh down on South African men? That would be my first question to you guys. Are we in a pandemic as South Africa? Let me bring it home.
Okay.
Black men in South Africa.
You want to take this one, bro?
Look, I definitely think that these are the kind of conversations that we should be having as men.
Yeah.
Really just asking the same questions amongst ourselves. Hore, all of these things, side chick, main chick, all of these things, what are we trying to affirm here?
Sure.
You understand? And I think your question is really a nice conversation starter in the sense that clearly there are a lot of things that we as men have to talk about, have to self-correct on, and are we having the right conversations when we are together? So I think what I'm just at this point I'm just focusing on the fact that I think the question you're asking warranted, and I think a lot of men need to ask themselves, need to have the same conversation centered around the same question. For a chance,
It's happening.
you understand? 100 and maybe that's I'll give it to you, but that's just where I am. I'm just appreciating the question.
Yeah, no, like I like what both of you have said. Where I'm sitting now, I'm glad I'm sitting in the middle because the perspective that I've gotten is actually two-sided. Your question and your further explanation, rather, or analysis of the question. Could it be that, I don't know, I don't like sounding like this, but could it be that we had a role to play in putting ourselves in a pandemic if we are in a pandemic. In a sense that the whole idea of main chick, side chick, girlfriend allowance, stay at home girlfriend, if we as Gen come together and say, look, Gen Z, I think we have set a bad example for the ones that are coming after us. We are not good role models in society because of the things that we're doing. When we're together, it's all about booze, it's all about girls, it's all about X, Y, Z. We are also playing a role. I think my thing is, could we also be playing a role in putting ourselves in a pandemic?
But also, Sihla, where do we come from? Because you speak about the example that we are setting. Nah? Maybe before we get there, let's start, if we can, if time allows, where do we come from?
Time doesn't.
Like the generation.
We have an hour to finish all the points. By the way.
So are you asking where we come from in terms of
The
generation where we grew up in, the environment or society where we grew up in, and the types of role models we had growing up, if we had any?
Yeah, and the foundation of the previous generation.
Okay.
What kind of foundation did they lay out that really informed some of the stuff that led us into this pandemic? You understand? Because remember, the environmental school of thought is extremely paramount to an upbringing of anyone.
Okay.
So, for example, I'll speak about me. I come from an environment where I have never seen my mother and my father in love. Do you understand?
No.
And what does that then mean for me going into relationships? And how do I then navigate and behave in my relationships when I grew up in a household where there was a father and a mother, but I've never seen them in love? In fact, if you ask me, what are some of the wrongest combinations? Or I'm telling you. And you know, and I'm grateful. Both of them, grateful. Salute. I love them. But from a compatibility point of view, I don't think they should have been together. And I say this because I think that is where we, to a certain extent, need to start.
Yeah.
Because this pandemic you speak about, Thabo,
Yeah.
and
it didn't begin with us.
it didn't begin with
It didn't begin with
us.
us,
It didn't begin with us.
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes that's where we need to look at first before we try to sort of self-correct in this very same pandemic.
Sure.
I think to throw a span in the works, man, it's very important to recognize that men. Okay, I'm just gonna, when I say men, I'm thinking about South African men at this point. Okay, we've never really had a voice. Even after apartheid, black men have never had a voice. It's 2021, right? 2022, right?
2022.
We still don't have a voice. Where we think we do, but our voice is only until we disagree with the status quo. So you can have a voice to agree that GBV is wrong. You can have a voice to agree that we all need to support the LGBTQI community. Speaking about episode 11, about episode 11, dude, there's a part that Romeo cut out, and I didn't even ask Romeo to cut out, right? Ntsiki was speaking to Stone.
Okay.
About the LGBTQI community. I don't know what Stone said. I don't know the context.
Okay.
But I just heard Ntsiki's question and I heard Stone's response, and that was his true feelings.
Yeah.
But Romeo felt that he had to cut it off because he understands that in South Africa, if you dare say something wrong or something that can offend someone, as a black South African man, the community is unapologetic. So we have learned to agree with things that we don't necessarily agree with, right? So going back to Thabo's point, our fathers, our forefathers, even us, there are certain things that we just cannot speak of. So I think the conversation that, like, where we need to start, man, is why are men not speaking out on these things that Thabo spoke about? Compatibility, bro. Because how many times have we heard women say, a real man does this? And we spoke about this on episode 10. This is a blooper, bro. This is a blooper.
Now.
How many times have we had women say, a real man does this? A true man does this, right? And they are alluding to all the older generation. But they don't know that these people are not doing these things because they wanted to do them.
Okay.
They'll be like, a real man used to go to work at 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to do that shit. I don't want to wake up at 3 o'clock and go to work at 4 o'clock. If that doesn't make me a real man, then that's fine.
Yeah.
You understand? But mid-argument, women bring these points up that a real man used to do this, a real man is this, a real man is this. And if you're not strong as an individual, you internalize these thoughts, bro. You internalize these thoughts, and then you get older, right? You get older, you marry to a woman who's constantly reminding you of what a real man is.
Sure.
Now what you do is you have money. You're going to try and buy submission. That's where the blessee relationship comes from.
Based on her idea of what a real man is.
Exactly.
Sure.
So you go outside because you can't get it from your house. You go outside and you go get a younger version of your wife and you pay your way through submission and respect because you understand that through this transaction, if I give her money, she will submit and she will respect me.
Sure.
You understand? So there's a
Yeah, it's powerful, eh?
there's a larger equation to this conversation than what people are making it out to be. It's very deep.
No, it's very deep.
And it will take us days
To unpack
to
this.
unpack this. Not even hours. It will take us days to unpack the trauma that a black man has faced.
So that goes back to what Tabo was saying, Guti, where do we come from? So you are touching a bit on where do we come from.
It's very
Say,
crucial.
where is this thing started?
It's very crucial for us to understand where we come from before we can even begin to talk about where we're going.
Yeah.
How do you go to a destination if you don't know where you come from?
Sure.
But we're not having those conversations because our fathers are not open enough to be like, gents, here's what happened. Our grandfathers are. Oh, and I don't know if I was speaking to you or my cousin. Sorry to interject.
No worries.
I was speaking to my cousin. I was like, he was asking me, is he the only one who's feeling like his life is crumbling? And I was like,
is this now the grandfather?
no, my cousin.
Okay.
Right? He's in our age group.
Okay.
And I said no. Because we're at that age, bro, where corporate is showing us flames. Relationships. At this age, you need to understand, am I getting married? Am I going to be a bachelor? Like, families putting pressure on you now. When are you bringing Makoti home? Our parents are getting old. There's just so much pressure on the black male around this 25 to 35 age group that we're in.
Yeah.
Trying to navigate. And most people don't even have a mirror to be like, Papa, how do I navigate through this? Because our fathers don't talk.
Sure.
And I think you speak about something, especially when you say that we are sort of losing our voice, so we are not given an opportunity to have a voice, because it now is becoming sort of generational.
Yeah.
You started with an example of, with each and every topic, we as black men are not sort of allowed to have an independent voice. The minute you try to sort of unpack gender-based violence, you sort of are lost in the group of Ikarwena, you are advocating.
And like
Ikarwena, no problem.
You are GBV apology.
Yeah. And while you are on that, right, as you were talking, I wanted to say, could it be that when I lost my train of thought, could it, when you want to talk, still on the where do we come from, where did this thing start? I feel like the other females are doing it better than us.
Sure.
Because during the Men at Church movement, Am I Next and whatnot, all of them started even confronting their fathers, their uncles, their grandfathers, even the elders in their family, to say, but look, there are things that were happening in our family. We all know of that uncle that, we know, they were talking.
The pedophile uncle.
Yes, they know. They were even speaking out on Twitter to say we know. So they were addressing us, their peers, and going even to the elders. So I think, Nati, as gens, we need to sort of, be intentional and start addressing these things to say, no, look, I understand that. I think maybe one of the biggest problems we're facing in this generation with females is that there's a lot of influence from social media.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of false ideologies on Twitter about what a man should be or what a man is, and for someone that never had an example of a man in their household,
We touched this
it's
on
very,
episode 10.
yes, it's very dangerous, and they can easily be misled into believing what social media is saying, what a man should be. So now it impacts me now. This person has got false ideologies from Twitter, is bringing them into our home, now must meet the standards that are set by Twitter. Remember, what if I had a good example of what a man should be, or what I think a man should be, instead of us building on what I know and what I think I should do right? Yena, she wants to completely rewrite what I think. We must start basing it on Twitter. Gutindota must. I didn't want to use that phrase because it bores me so much.
And as I said earlier, all someone needs is makeup, lipstick, and weave in a TikTok account, and they think they have influence, right?
Yes.
Someone has 50,000 followers on TikTok, and if they dare say, a real man is, everyone follows that. No one dares to do a lifestyle audit and be like, does she have a husband? Does she have a father? Does she have a grandfather? Does she have an example of a father in her life? But for the mere fact that this person looks pretty and she looks like she's making it from an Airbnb for all we know, people follow, right? People be like, yeah, that's what a real man should do because look at what her boyfriend is doing. But no one dares to do a lifestyle audit, bro.
Yeah.
You said you posted something on your status the other day, man. I think it was last month when people were speaking about this thing of people dropping out of school and then making it, and you said the law of probability is very important, guys. You guys need to study. You guys need to read books, right? Just because an influencer says something doesn't mean it's true, right? And some things are just basic intellectual knowledge.
But I wanted to play devil's advocate here a bit.
Sure.
Because we spoke about this lifestyle that is sort of financed by the very same broken generation that we come from.
Yeah.
Because, they're buying affirmation, they're buying respect, they're buying all of these things.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, it sort of becomes a double wheel, if I can even put it, to say that we are now saying, hore, let's put it in a hypothetical world. There's the very same previous generation figure is now funding the lifestyle of girl X and Y in the name of buying respect and buying all of these things.
Sure.
Now it comes down and it sort of rolls to those two people having good Instagram accounts, good weaves, and because I get our fathers are paying for it.
Yeah.
And now they are now sort of influencing a generation that we are supposed to marry.
Yeah. So she's dating your father, but
Yeah.
influencing a generation that you're supposed to marry.
Exactly.
With your father's finances.
With my father's finance.
How do you compete with that?
It's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle.
So this indoda must.
Yeah.
That indoda is 50 years. You 24.
Yeah.
You being compared in your house with a
Yes.
50-year-old who's had a tenderpreneur.
Wha-
Who's been a
100%,
exactly.
100%.
And when you are literally just trying to make it in whatever field.
So there's a cater. a few weeks ago, he was sponsoring, he goes for married women. We know this cater. We won't mention his name. You've seen him on Twitter. So that cater is sponsoring lifestyles of married women based on tenders he was eating from asbestos. So you imagine being compared to someone like that. Someone that is chowing government tenders. You can't. Someone that sends a woman.
The check is open.
The one with
Yeah,
the
it's like
private
that,
jet.
that one, he throws 2 million. He says, go see what you can do to keep yourself busy. You said you bought. Here's 2 million. You can't. And now that generation, and all of these, most of them are celebs or influencers or whatnot. They've got a huge following. Remember, the more they post about their lifestyle, the more followers they get. And that's their currency. Because they can approach brands and say, okay, Nivea or Dove or what. Hey, why am I mentioning brands?
No, it's fine.
Yeah, so these
Don't vlog. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think these new generation of influencers, right, are very, very clever because now our fathers.
Because they're all dating the same
No,
men.
no,
Oh,
listen.
okay.
Are you still at asbestos?
He's still there.
Asbestos is moving.
I'm trying to move away from that point. He's still there. He's still there. But a lot of these entrepreneurs, a lot of our fathers and our grandfathers are not, they don't read, right? They get tenders through political party alliances, you know? But now these influencers read. They're very, very, very clever. What are the league? No, they're very clever.
Oh, clever.
Did you see clever?
Yeah,
They're very clever.
Clever.
Yeah.
Okay,
They read Wikipedia pages and think they're let me drop it there. But here's the thing.
They read those books
They-
that
they-
have pictures.
They read the back part of I read what I like, and they are black conscious. But what are the legal implications of these guys paying girlfriend allowances? How many women have actually benefited millions from dating a married guy for X amount of years, and then when this guy decides that I don't want to do this anymore, she can go to court and be like, here's proof this guy's been maintaining me. I've been doing this with this guy. And according to the law, right? I don't know, but according to the law, dude, I think you might be what's the word? Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I'm not trying to catch a court case. Yeah. We can bail her for Romeo. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with the 200k court sue?
Hey.
Allegedly,
Yeah.
you are entitled to maintain this person. Why are you not refilling? You said there for a reason.
I'm taking mine and then I'm gonna
Mshana, you've got a responsibility.
Fulfill your responsibility. So these guys are paying these things,
Yeah.
maintaining these women. But now, what are the legal implications of girlfriend allowance, stay-at-home girlfriends? Because surely, you remember when you had a call, Tabo? Sihle said customary law.
Yeah.
And a lot of men don't know this. We have a famous gay couple that just got divorced. And one of the gay couples believes that he's not entitled to pay because the marriage certificate was not signed. But according to the law, because there's been a celebration, you mentioned the thingy.
Yeah, I think the conditions I'm subject to for correction. My Leonard friends. Yeah, I think there's three conditions for customary marriage to be met. The marriage must be negotiated, right? Agreed upon and entered into. And then the last one is celebrated. And celebration is when it's subjective. It's interesting.
Like
You don't-
with matching couples on Instagram. With matching clothes on Instagram. So they celebrated that, but he believes that he's not entitled. But according to the law,
Oh, I almost said something revealing about the couple. I almost mentioned. Hey,
You what?
sorry.
What? Egypt? What?
you guys are gonna get us cancelled.
You want a lawsuit? Hey. Hey.
So one of the game one of the couple.
Mshana, you want us to go?
We're going to be cancelled, guys.
Wait, check.
Please tread carefully, okay?
Oh, the guy.
Romeo.
I'm getting a strong one.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm getting a strong one. So that allegedly goes away as soon as
Wait, guys, listen. Tabo is an ass.
Mshana, we can record this in Cairo.
Tabo is an ass. So I think what people need to understand is there are legal implications to day-to-day decisions that we make as men.
Yeah.
And these so-called blessers don't know. And these influencers are getting rich of these guys, bro. I told you guys about a case that
Oh, the 2 million rand one.
the 3 million lawsuit.
3 million, oh, yes.
Where the guy stayed with a woman and then he passed away before the lobola negotiations. And the woman was literally entitled to claim from this guy's estate. Jane, I forgot her surname. My woman is gonna kill me because she literally told me her surname. But Jane, and it's a thing. It's the law. You stayed with a woman for X amount of months, whether you married to her or not. By the virtue of you staying with her, dude, if one of you guys is deceased, she's entitled.
not to sound ignorant or what, but why does it seem like it's only women that are benefiting from staying together? Mama Faten said it's only women that stand to benefit. Because I've never heard of a situation or a case study whereby a woman passed away while she was staying with a man, and this man so little as claimed their fridge. I just want to make it as simple. Not even a fridge. That, you know, men don't benefit anything from those setups.
I'm not in the legal field, right? But
Yeah.
I would assume, or I would guess that I think South Africa's legal system and constitution is so hell bent on fixing the
100%.
injustices of the past with current issues, right? But those injustices of the past are only to a certain degree, because we still have systematic racism in corporate. That's not being addressed. But our legal system is very, very rigid when it comes to black men. If you dare skip maintenance, the police are going to collect you. But how many cases of racism have been reported, and these guys are still walking around in our streets?
Yeah,
You understand?
Or issues of false paternity, whereby a woman, after 20 years, a guy finds out, Kuti, this child is not his, but there's no legal implication.
Exactly.
Not even as much as saying, okay, everything that you've paid for this child, that the new father pay you or the mother give you, nothing, or even 10% of what you've done, nothing.
What
Like,
about fake
feelings?
rape allegations? What happens with a fake rape allegation? The case just gets thrown out, but the woman is never held accountable.
Never.
Right? But the argument has always been, yeah, but women have struggled in the past. Black people have struggled in the past, right?
There's still
But
systematic racism in
I don't see other races being held up to the same standard that black men are being expected to operate in.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Black people have been oppressed. Still oppressed in corporate, still oppressed in media spaces, still oppressed everywhere. Ne? And it's still acceptable.
Yeah.
But because it's women, and I touched on this and you laughed when I said women and the LGBTQI community
100%.
looking at men and be like, you guys have to be perfect. If you dare say something, Sihle, your own opinion, not the come-up's opinion, not my opinion, not Thabo, not Romeo, your opinion on gay people, best believe you can't.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Those that know me personally and have me on have the privilege of having me on their WhatsApp. I'm like a celebrity. I'm on TV. So those that have the privilege of having me on their WhatsApp would have seen that this week. Me, I go for everyone. I tease everyone. The way I tease light-skinned people, you'd swear I'm not light-skinned. But all the jokes, most of the jokes I make on my WhatsApp are about light-skinned people. And I laugh as though...
He said,
China, you are previously light skin.
he told me a joke the other day. They said light-skinned guys are more prone to be pregnant.
But while on that, so that I don't waste time, while on that, I made a joke, not a joke, in fact, I shared something very informative about the LGBTQ community. Love them very much. Super hardworking group of people, very, very nice people.
Sure.
Made, certain, hey, I got the attack I was getting from women, not even people from LGBTQ, because I think the question that was, no, I won't ask this because it's going to open another can of worms, but I'll share the video with you guys off camera, because
But let me play devil's advocate once again.
Because
At
at
this
this point, you're not a devil's advocate.
Devil and Nadula Egypt.
Egypt.
Cairo. Mchana, let's be honest. I think you touched a bit on, I'm not sure if it was you, Sitlo or Thabo, but you touched a bit on, you don't see women held to the same standard of accountability that we are held at.
100%.
Nah?
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, I think we do that amongst ourselves. And I'll give you guys an example.
Sure.
When a guy goes and lives with a girl for more than 3 months,
Yeah.
and it's not their place, Rimbiza man rona manje. Sbarmakoti. And so what that does is that me, Thabo, in that situation, I'm living go Mediaka.
Yeah.
You guys will never see that process through. God forbid my wife dies. and I was living at my wife's place. You guys will never see that through because in that 3 months, I've had to lose friends because I was referred to as Sparmakoti. And I had to be uncomfortable with the comfort that I have and had to sort of make a plan. Yeah, re tswa mo jwang from this place that is not mine and going to my place. So there's certain pressures, to be honest, that we enforce, and black on black, men on men, that we sort of put to black men, and that make it quite uncomfortable for us to live in. And this being the example, where I'm living at my wife's place, Kesbarmako. Do you understand? And no one is going to talk about the fact that I'm comfortable. Mediaka, we have an arrangement. I'm not as great.
Ask is how should you worry? Why are we on top of my table?
But this goes back to the topic that we had in episode 10 when I said, Thabo, if you know yourself, bro, if you know yourself as an individual, whatever Sihle, I, Romeo, whoever, whatever anyone says, you won't waver in your conviction of knowing yourself. And I said it's very important for South African men to know themselves individually before they can go outside, right? Because now here's the thing. If you know yourself are not comfortable to stay in that house, and Sihle says, it's going to eat you up because you were never comfortable in the first place. But if someone comes to you and be like, Thabo, oh, homophobic, but you know that you're not homophobic, it doesn't move you. But for the mere fact that that thing has moved you as Barimakot, were you ever comfortable in the first place to be in that place?
Sorry to interject. I like the fact that you threw in the word homophobic. So it broadens. It broadens the conversation to say, look, when we're having an engagement like this, let's say we were addressing issues relating to the LGBTQ community, and then we are talking, and then someone calls me homophobic live on camera. You see, that, taints my reputation. Yeah,
Sure.
So I think even maybe Nagutabo, Nasomshali tries Amachita, and then we call him Sparmakoti. Because he's hosting us. He's hosting us. He's cooking
and
for
us.
And
it's a group of friends.
Yes, man. Look, you are hosting these people. They are in your house. Yes. You've cooked for them. You've given them drinks, and then they're saying you're Sparmakoti. I mean, that is very disrespectful. Number one.
And especially because I mean, we are different from the generation that we come from.
And it's okay. It's okay for you to be Sparmakot.
Born 100%.
It's okay.
In fact, I'm an advocate Sparmakot. Can I be advocate Sparmakot? Yes. Because guys, what we need to understand is that we live in different times. I can previously our fathers had to leave Bethlehem and come and work in Joburg and had to have left a stable homestead for their wife and children and. But now in our times, Mchana, you have a job today, you don't have a job tomorrow.
Yeah.
Are we now then saying, Hore, you should
you
must go back to Mpumalanga, and you understand?
And your woman has an apartment.
Yeah. And your woman has an apartment that she's been maintaining for your entire relationship.
Long
you understand?
I even got into her life.
You understand?
You're right.
Are we then saying that you should then, your pride needs to sort of say, no, you must go back to Mpumalanga, Mchana, start afresh, leave your suitcase. No.
You mentioned a very important word, Thabo, which is pride. And I think a lot of black men struggle with that, pride, right? And if we see you as Thabo being comfortable in that Barimakoti role, and it's a very bad word, I know, but we're going to use it for the context of the conversation. Yeah. If we see you comfortable, right, I think it digs into us now. Pride. Why am I not comfortable to be taken care of by a woman? Babo? I'm not generalizing. I'm saying from personal experience, from that one out of 1,000 cases.
Jana, can I protect you and say I'm allowing you to generalize? Whoever wants to fight can fight me on his behalf. I'm allowing you to generalize.
You stay somewhere in Joburg. Whoever wants to fight.
Whoever wants to fight, I'll give my location, because when we're addressing men are trash, they never said some men are trash. They were saying men are trash.
Yeah.
For them to drive their message. Yeah. Right now we are driving our message. We are saying
So
all of
everyone's
them.
so
Yeah,
far
yeah.
can
We're
come
saying
to
women,
Joburg.
when women become
And
providers.
we stay
I
in
am
the same-
saying that.
we stay in the same area.
Yeah, I'm saying that. He's not saying that. I'm saying it on his behalf. I'm not, I don't tell you, oh, fella.
So here's the thing. Dynamics changed.
Yeah.
The woman started to become disrespectful. She could come home at any time. And the guy was not allowed to ask any questions because now she was paying rent. She was taking care of the house.
She started doing things that she never
She
used
never
to do.
did.
Okay.
And I remember,
so she changed.
She changed.
Okay.
And I remember there was a time, right, where I was sitting with this guy in the house, and the woman was in the car with another man, and he knew that his wife, not girlfriend, his wife. They have 2 kids, a boy and a girl. His wife is in a car outside with a man, and he looked at me, and he said, "Tab, whatever you do, just make sure you never lose your job in your life, because right now I'm sick. I need to be dependent on this woman who's sitting with another man in the car, and I need to smile when she comes in, because I need her to give me transport money to go to my treatment on Thursday. Because if I dare have an attitude or ask her who is that guy, she's not gonna give me transport money, and I'm not gonna be able to go to my
And I
treatment."
think what is sad here, Tabo, what is sad here is that this, if the men did it if it was vice versa.
Oh, you trash. Oh, you trash.
is sick.
Oh, you trash.
How dare you?
Oh, you trash. How dare you sit with another woman in your car?
And before the story, trust me, I was going to be the first one to raise my hand and say, not all men are the same. Because I also, in corporate, I'm the first one to say that, yes, we still live in a racist society, but let's be honest, not all white people are the same. Nah, I'm the first one to always advocate for that. Yeah.
Corporate has changed it.
No, HR has changed.
It has molded him.
Those policies are effective.
They have molded him. They have molded him. Right?
And it's sad. It's extremely sad because should you put me and that guy in the same room, we probably went through the same situations, but I've got a beautiful story to tell.
You have a different experience.
I've got a beautiful story to
But
tell.
here's the thing. Tables are turned. Right? Your woman, or let's say his woman, not your woman.
Yeah.
His woman. If his woman was the sick one and she was to post what that guy told me, guess what? All men are trash.
Yeah.
All men are trash. Not some men. All men are trash.
Look, I'm active on social media. So this one time, I think last week now, I came across a video. I think it was on TikTok or Instagram, where this guy was saying, when a man gets money, when he's at a stage where he's got money, he's got everything that he wanted. He thinks about family. He thinks about, let me get a wife, get married, have children, provide for them. Yes, get Tate. Not Tate ke rata jwang, sorry. Tate is my spirit animal. Did you see we've got a Zulu Tate, but we'll talk about it off camera. So he's like, when a man makes it, he thinks about family, providing. But when a woman makes it, she starts seeing how much she doesn't need
She
a
doesn't
man.
need a man.
Yeah, it's the strangest thing ever.
See, as soon as you get rich, let's say you win a lotto.
It's a simple answer.
You win lotto.
Yes.
Your first thing, you're gonna call me, Mfana, I'm paying lobola.
I'm paying lobola.
I'm buying a house.
Paying lobola. I'm getting a house, 1 hectare house in Pelu, with a horse stable, and then I'm buying everything that I needed with my wife.
Who are you doing that for?
My
Your
woman,
wife
obviously,
and your
because she
your
loves
daughter.
the area, and I'm buying
Exactly.
her mommy van, like mom's van.
Exactly.
For the kids.
When a woman, I don't know what I did, like. I don't know what I did, like there's alternatives to
We
women.
forgive
When a woman,
We forgive you.
you forgive me. Like there's 4 or 5 different types of women. The alternatives.
Mchana, let's go shoot in Cairo, man.
But when a woman was to win how many times do we see women get in the bag? And
But
be
I
like,
want to-
honey, you don't need a man. You can do it by yourself.
Yes.
Honey, you don't need a family. Honey.
Why
Why do they do that?
Why do they do that? I'm curious. Why do they do that? I think on the next installment where we have women to speak for themselves, they'll tell us these things because
Can we ask that question?
in this podcast we are
Do
very
you want to answer
fair.
that question? Off camera. You can just
Off camera.
speak off
Why do
camera.
they do that?
No one will know who you are.
but you just mentioned the name.
We'll cut that
out.
Girl, you can do it on your own.
We'll say your ghost lady. Ghost lady, can you do that off camera? Can you answer that for us off camera?
Why do they do that?
We won't mention your name. We won't mention where you're from. You're just a lady in the room. Why do women, when they get money, they say, honey, you don't need a man to make it. Honey, you can do this by yourself. But as soon as men get money, thank you. Thank you, Romeo.
I don't know, but like I feel like as women, we also don't believe that when you guys get money, you think of marrying us, lowball and everything. It's like even with men, when they get a lot of money, they leave the woman they've been with for the longest time, and then they just want to bless everyone now and be with every other woman. So it's the same thing with women, actually. So yeah.
True.
Yeah, no, that's
I will wait before you say anything. I will elaborate on what she said. Right? There's this code that says, and men like to post this code: get money so that you can marry your type. And I think women believe that. As soon as Tab wants to get money, he's gonna leave me and go marry his type. So what she's saying, she just gave us intel on a woman's thought process that if this booty that I'm with right now wants to get money, he's gonna marry his type, most. So why must I bekezela and treat him well? Because if he was to get money, if the tables were turned, he'd probably leave me and go for his type.
But this only means that we as a no as a sex, nah,
yeah.
are in conflict.
Yes,
We are
definitely.
in conflict
Definitely.
because at which point do we then agree?
Now the dynamics are changing, Tam. Because 10 years ago, 20 years ago, men were always dominant. Men were always providers, protectors, blah, 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 blah.
Umseleko.
This one is going to get us cancelled. This one is going to get us.
Why can't you say polygamy is from KZN?
Don't cut him off, Romeo. This one needs to trend on Twitter for one day so that he can learn.
so he can learn.
This one will learn on Twitter one day. So I think what's happening is
Yeah.
we are in a generation where a lot of men are becoming submissive. And a lot of women are becoming protectors and providers in households. And I don't think...
Wait, please repeat that.
I said a lot of men are becoming submissive.
Uh-huh.
And not in a bad way, Sisli.
Yeah.
In the way of, I think some guys just got born in a soft household where mom and dad love each other. Now I come from a soft home. My brothers, like mom and dad kiss each other. And I don't know this hard life.
It's all, yeah.
I don't need to be hard. I don't need to be a bad boy to receive love. Because my dad was a good guy, my mom was, I'm just making
No,
an
that's
example.
it's actually a very good example.
So these
It's a
guys
beautiful
grew
example.
up. These guys grew up 25, living in that household where mom and dad love each other, dude. Perfect.
They see their
household.
parents kissing every day.
Exactly. You spoke about compatibility. Now these two get into a relationship. What do you think is going to happen there? When the man is submissive and the woman is dominant. You understand? And I don't think we will finally agree. I'm just answering your question. I don't think we'll fully agree until we admit that, guys, the scales have tipped. Not all men have to be bad boys.
I think uhloniphise kakhulu le ndaba yokuthi men, this guy is submissive and this woman is dominant or a provider, because I think let's just call a spade for this one, where this boy is a well-raised boy in a family of love, where he was raised by loving parents that taught him common decency, to say please and thank you.
Yes.
And that girl was taught to be defensive.
Yes.
She's toxic. Let's call it what it is.
The girl
She's
is toxic.
Yes.
In this
And
case-
she was raised by a toxic mother.
In this case,
Let's
the
call
girl
it,
is toxic,
Yes.
but the girl, the girl is toxic, but the boy is a different
sweetheart.
ballgame. But now remember, 20 years ago, men were always toxic, right? So now we are living in a generation where the scales are tipping. So if I was to answer your question, Tabo, I don't think we'll ever agree in this generation because the scales are tipping in our generation.
Maybe it's that conversation of nature versus nurture, because
Exactly.
there's a huge element in upbringing where there's a study in psychology that children learn what they live. I like the beautiful example that you used about this boy every single day sees the mother and the father loving each other, kissing each other, affirming each other. This is healthy. Whereas on the other side of the fence or on the other side of the N1, there's a girl that is barely making it. Because I know feminists will come for us and say because the father left them, that is why the mother is toxic and the child is toxic. But that's not the case.
What if the father
Yeah. I'll, in fact, just to put a stamp on that, I'll use an example so that we are all on the same wavelength. There's a story of a boy, two boys that were raised by the same father. Drunkard of a father, abusive drunkard.
Did you study psychology?
One,
Fadi?
not even.
I read this in my first year
Yes,
psychology class.
I didn't do psychology.
I read this first year
No,
psychology
Mtana, I
class.
used to listen to motivational speakers a lot.
I read the story.
So two boys raised by the same father, abusive drunkard. One became a sweetheart. The other one became abusive and a drunkard. Both of them same father. So it's all like all of us. At some point we get to a point where we have choices. There's friends, female friends. One of my female friends, don't mention name. She lives in your own complex. There's some things that she also told me certain things about her upbringing. She had it tough, parents were what, but she then decided, you know what, let me go to therapy. I can see that, what we're talking about in the car, about EQ, when was it? We're talking about EQ that no
EQ
one...
versus
Yeah, he
IQ.
says, I think you are the best person to explain this. I don't want to, just go into it.
Yeah, look, but before I wanted to go into that, I think Sihle is very, extremely important to also appreciate the fact that because we are a generation, Mchana, do the Lord's work.
You guys.
Do the Lord's work.
Damn.
But in terms of EQ and IQ, I know you are keeping us very accountable.
For what?
In
Time.
terms of everything, time and everything, points and everything. But what I was sharing is that we as a generation, we have prioritized IQ so much. We take our children to the best creatures, the best schools. I mean, Cure has been here for years, but it's only popping up now. You know why? Because the clever black.
702 blacks. 702 blacks.
Yeah, 702.
702.
Yeah.
2000 blacks. Yeah.
So I think extremely important for me. We are a generation that has prioritized IQ.
Yeah.
IQ can learn. You can learn at home. You can learn in school.
Yeah.
But we have deprioritized, if that's even a word, IQ and
EQ.
EQ. Thank you.
Ngena manje.
Emotional intelligence, guys. Emotional intelligence. Remember, you won't get it at home. You don't get emotionally intelligent in the comfort of mama and papa. You get it on the streets and. Yeah. But what we do, Rona, as a generation, we raise our children, we take them to the Kuros. After school, we're already there packed. They don't even have the chance to interact with the Aiden and
then when they go to varsity, that's where EQ is lacking.
Tabo, can I interject?
EQ is lacking, and they can navigate around everyday social issues.
Can I interject, gents? What you said, Nofana, is literally, almost word for word, the conversation that I had with my girlfriend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she's from like that IQ and EQ, very, very. My girlfriend's very learned, right? But we're having this, and I'm from the streets. I moved to Joburg. The first time I was in Joburg, I was in like Soweto.
No, you're right. This thing is strong. Yo.
Now you agree. From Soweto,
Yeah.
I had to stay in Joburg CBD for quite some time. And I was-
Mama and Papa, bye.
Mama and Papa Habaya,
Yeah.
right? And she's been with like the comfort, and I don't want to say comfort because she's had her own experiences. That I don't want to mention on camera, but she's had her own experiences. But my argument was that it's very important for the boy child to experience life without the comfort of Mama le Papa, because Sihle, those nights where you don't have food in your race, they build character.
Yep.
Those nights where you go grooving with your friends, go that place that we like in Joburg, but I won't mention the name.
No, but for clarity, I don't like it. He's talking for himself. He likes.
For clarity, I don't know it.
place. He knows it.
Yes.
If you have to groove at that place and mama and papa are not there protecting, it's very important that you go through that things so that you learn as a boy child how to navigate. If you see ipara, you know how to navigate yourself. Body language is very
Body
important.
language, yeah.
It's very important in Joburg, you know. And I was having this conversation with my woman and be like, IQ is very important. And yes, shielding kids are very important, but to which extent? Because you can't shield a boy. I don't want to speak on the female child because I'm not a female. I'll speak on the boy child. And I think part 2, we need 2 or 3 women. You can't expect a boy child to be shielded from age 0 to 26.
Look, I'll speak a bit about me, right? I grew
Yeah.
up as a child. I was raised. No, I don't want to say in a shell, right? But I think when I got to primary, that's when I got exposed to a lot of children now.
Yeah.
And as a machita, we often tease each other as boys. I used to cry whenever they used to tease me
Yeah.
because everything of mine has always been applause. Oh, mom, no, so everything that you do.
Sihle used to be a participate king metal type of shit.
Yeah, that's the thing. But that's the thing. When, no 100 real talk. So I learned the hard way when I got to primary. It used to get to me like it used to. I never used to enjoy school because whenever they used to tease me, I'd cry literally. But up until I think by my grade 6, grade 7. I became liparalina, you know, I became...
Exactly.
Yeah, that's when I learned
It's crucial.
EQ. Yeah,
And
when-
that's EQ,
okay, now we're
Thabo.
teasing each other. It's not personal. It's
Thabo,
not
that's
personal. When they
EQ.
tease you about your
That's
nose
EQ.
or your what, it's just banter. We're just boys having fun. But I didn't know that up until I had to, you know, chill limajita.
And that continue, and that never stops, Sihle.
It never
Because even in
stops.
corporate,
Yes.
you are teased by how you dress, how you
Exactly.
respond to emails, and.
Yeah,
Thabo,
And
true.
if you don't have some sort of
I'll run to you, HR.
We'll go to him.
no, don't come to me. Don't come to me for petty issues. Or someone responded like this to my
This one is
email.
gonna get fired, and we don't have an HR role in this podcast.
Yeah, but that's what we're saying. EQ is just as significant as IQ. Your understanding of maths, how you navigate through accounting, physics, and. But how do you navigate through the streets? Because mama and papa habai when you face those streets of Bram,
Mandela Bridge, in fact.
that Mandela Bridge,
Mandela Bridge.
all of those things.
Could we stretch it? Would I be out of line if I were to stretch it to say it also plays a role into how you navigate or deal with things like heartbreak, rejection,
That's part 2.
and all the
Sihle.
things.
No,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
part
but
2.
that's- yeah.
That's part 2
Yeah.
with the female's point of view.
But in closing, Thabo, ne?
What are you closing? I'm trying to be a guest.
You've
yeah.
been closing your guest.
He's a guest. He's closing.
You see what comfort does, ne? Comfort is.
He's
No, but
closing.
it's
He's
that
a
last mix.
He's
That's
a
last
guest.
mix.
He's a
That's last
guest.
mix.
Yes, he's trying to close. He's a guest. What are you closing?
Mjana. You know that heartbreak? That heartbreak, yeah, how?
I know of Shana.
That one.
I know that one. The one,
That one where there was
That
conversation between your eyes and your pillow.
the one that I didn't eat for a few days.
For a few days.
Yeah, that one.
And you said you were going to kill yourself.
Yeah, that one. That one.
That's
Yeah,
the
I
one.
remember it. Mchana.
Mjana. Only EQ could have saved you there.
Not IQ.
Not IQ.
Not solve for X.
Only EQ.
Not watching.
Only you having understood what it. In me
Hey, that's
going,
deep,
Yo,
deep.
man,
That's deep, Mchana.
in me going, and Hochola Litabiseng, who has been through.
I sent him saying, Bombali.
Yeah, keep on bad.
Kibombali.
Only EQ could have made it easy. Could have made your navigation through that easy. And the parents today, and I always have this conversation with parents from my daughter's school. We are not preparing our children for that. Because immediately school is out, we are here.
We're taking them.
We are taking them back home.
Yeah.
They say parents' evening. We are not even late. We
On time.
We are always on time, and we are shouting at the teachers. Yeah, no, but my daughter, what she does is that at 8 o'clock she wants a lemon. Do you guys give her? Do you guys? You understand all of those things? And what it does is that you know that shell that you are building it, and you are building it, and you're making it as thick as a watermelon shell. So what your daughter will struggle, or your son will struggle to break out of that. Because they've always been in comfort of, mommy, I want lemon. We drive out lemon. Mommy, I want this. But that's not how life works.
And as soon as you start working, Tabo, you learn that no one owes you shit.
True.
Corporate teaches you that, yeah, mommy and daddy might have given you lemons when you cried for lemons, but now you're 24 in an accounting, HR, or whatever role, but we don't owe you shit. Whether you have mental issues, whether you have family issues, we need you to submit certain things by a specific time. And if you don't, you're not performing. And we will hold you accountable.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And those shields haven't taught our kids that it's not always going to be like that.
No.
But anyway, guys, I really need to close, guys. Fucking
All right.
So what I'm saying is it's very important for kids not to it's very important for parents not to shield their kids too much, because real life doesn't have shields.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. Tabo, 30 seconds, final closing thoughts.
Look, I'm not even gonna. I want the last thing that people remember is your words. You can't shield your child forever and ever. You can't. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I think this is powerful. You see, the room became quiet when they said you can't shield your child forever. Let us remember to prioritize EQ, because we've invested a lot of money in IQ. We are paying a lot of school fees for these nice schools. Let us also invest in EQ. Let us allow our children. There's something, I saw a video, so I saw a video of a child falling after riding a bicycle. So the mother was very protective and saying, yo, my child got injured. The father said, no, that is how you grow. All of us have a scar. I mean, I've got one here or here. All of us probably, even you guys do. Those are signs that we've gone through the growing pains and whatnot. We can't shield our children. That's how you learn and grow. So let's be. What is happening? Why are you jumping here? I'm trying. You know the pastor, when it's time for prayer. You know the Lord is in this place. I'm trying to call. You guys are just jumping. What's happening?
Mchan, I've said
You
this.
sound like that prominent pastor from Lady Brand, Mchan.
I mean, I didn't say anything. I'm sorry.
We talk about the black man. We talk about the black girl, child. And my biggest thing is that the reason why we feel like as this generation is far from rich, they're doing things very fast. And then remember, post 1994, we are the only race, the black race.
Yeah.
We're the only race that entrusted another race with the education
Of their
of
children.
our race. And then now, 20 odd years later, we want to say, ma 2000 arhlola.
Yeah, but because Rabansa Mahuing.
Yes. We were never in charge. We never took control of what they digest on a daily basis.
Are we indirectly raising a challenge to our people to say, look, fellow black people, it's time that we have our own cure? Is that what we're saying? Are we saying it's time that where we have our own children that are going to be taught our history, undiluted and uncompromised, to say, okay, this is our curriculum that's gonna teach?
I'll be the first one to enroll my daughter.
Okay, me too. I've got a daughter. I'll also enroll.
I'll be the first one to enroll my daughter, because the challenges that we have now, they're diluted because what we are seeing.
You're closing, Anish.
I was closing.
I'll come and I'll come and okay. So guys. Okay. So are you done?
I'm kidding.
I think. No. I think I've said. I said that.
No, your
part,
point is
which
very
was
strong.
extremely
That is very
for me.
important. When you'll watch it on TV, because you are not here, you'll watch it on YouTube. So, but my thing is, I'm very controversial. Sometimes I'm a bit rough around the edges, But I think with that being said, before you come at me and attack me on Twitter, I'm not afraid of you, ne? But I just want to say this. We are all sitting in the same table. We are of the same skin color. We've got serious problems with relationships in this day and age. Marriages are no longer lasting as they used to. So the reason we are sitting here and having this conversation, we are inviting you to join us on the table.
Yeah.
So that's why we're saying next episode we'll have women to speak for themselves. Look, I want us to look at this space, this podcast, social media, whatever platform we have, where we are exchanging opposing or conflicting views. It is not me against you or men against women, but it is, we are sitting on the same problem. Let us change the perspective and look at whatever issue that we've discussed here, whether we laughed about it or we're serious, but we are all sitting in the same table trying to solve a problem that could potentially kill us. Because I think we are fortunate that we caught it in this generation so that we are solving this problem so that our children will not have to deal with the same issues that we're dealing with. Mlozi by nature. Mlozi is someone that speaks forever. So I will not speak forever. Let me pass on to my employer.
Undabezitha.
Black Panther. I can't call you Ndabezitha because, but I'll tell you why off camera.
Okay.
Yeah, Black Panther.
No. Yeah. What are you doing? What's wrong with you? You No, guys. I think I agree with sentiments that Sihle shared, man. It's important that we understand that we as black people have a lot of healing that we need to do. We have a lot of hurt that we're still going through from nature and nurture that Sihle spoke of, from learned behavior that Tawa spoke of. There's a lot of things that we need to get over. So this definitely needs a part 2, right? Tawa will be here, Sihle will be here. We'll have our own ghost lady that you heard her voice. I don't know what minutes she spoke, but she'll be here, and we'll get another female to help her, because we don't want it to be 3-on-1. So we'll have 3 guys.
I'm volunteering to be off camera.
I'm closing.
Oh, okay, sure.
What's wrong with you? We'll have 3 guys and 2 ladies, where ladies can speak up from their point of view, right? But in closing, guys, thank you very much for watching the podcast. Guys, there's a very, very important point I want. Oh, fuck, Romeo. Here's the point. This is shit. This is the gold. This is the gold. Part 2, we're going to be touching on the Senzo Mayiwa case. We're going to be touching on the Lobola negotiations part, man. We're going to be touching on prenup agreements. There's so much that we need to touch on. And guys, please do tune in for part 2 of the episode, right? And I'm going to do the honor of giving the ghost lady an opportunity to say, please like and
Subscribe.
You guys didn't have to correct me.
You heard it's a beautiful mistake.
You heard that I
It's a
missed
beautiful
it.
mistake.
You didn't have to correct me.
Hey guys, it's the Ghost Lady. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much.
Po.